Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Australia's Tabletop Wargaming Network once again. As per usual, I'm ScottyD, and tonight I'm joined by Jake. How you going, brother?
Yeah, good, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, not a problem at all. Thanks for making some time to join us. And Alex, how you doing, mate?
Good, man. Good. Surviving.
Love to hear it. To hear it. So, thanks to everyone. Go for it,
West
Jake.
Sydney life, hey? No, I was just going to say that West Sydney life, hey?
Yeah. That's it. It's not
right. Well, welcome into everyone who is joining us live in our Twitch chat. Dark Justice first in. How you doing, mate? Great to have you joining us. And we got Feud as well with the good old posture check. Thanks, mate. Greatly appreciated, and hope everyone in chat is doing well. If you are watching this back over on our YouTube channel, we do these tournament previews live on our Twitch channel the week of the tournament when we do tournament coverage. And the tournament we're covering this weekend is the Sydney Winter GT, which Alex is the TO for, which is going to be an absolutely wonderful tournament held at the Padstow RSL once again. Really excited to be back at that great venue, and it's going to be a packed house. So we'll get into that a little bit later on. But yeah, to kind of kick us off, I reckon let's start off with Jake for this one, and then we'll jump to you, Alex. Just give us a bit of a quick introduction about yourselves. How long you've been in the hobby, what armies you've played, all that kind of stuff. So Jake, kick us off.
Yeah, look, I've been in the hobby a long time. I used to play as a kid, and then that sort of fell away. But yeah, got back into it about 6 years ago. I think at the end of 8th, maybe the very start of 9th. So it might have been a bit more than 6 years ago, but yeah, somewhere there. Always played Imperium, never played anything else. Yeah, the good boys. I've started off playing Marines. I've probably played nearly every flavour possible of Marines, really. But you know, yeah. Look, I swear I have played one game of Sally's at least.
Real good guy, Space Marines.
Is it because they're... No, we won't go there. But mostly Space Force. But of recent, I've been playing a lot of Hammer Guard, which I'm absolutely loving, putting Dawns through walls like 19 inches, which is great. Everybody hates it.
I love
it. Yeah. Run my first GT this year with Alex, the Hunter GT. Pretty successful. Everyone had a good time.
Yeah.
And did a bit of New South Wales coaching with ANZTC, but I use coaching loosely. I mostly brought some coffees and bagels and shitty jokes. But I was part of the team.
Yeah, nice. Got to have someone around to lift everyone's spirits, though, right?
Absolutely.
You picked up some of Woody's broken models, don't worry.
Oh, I glued together quite a few of Woody's models, yeah. Wolf and Thunderhammers, not fun to put back together.
No, not at all.
Yeah, cool. So, Alex, what about yourself, brother?
I was on the tail end of 8th. I jumped into the game as well. Mostly play Admech and Tyranids, but I did play a bit of Salamanders too. Yeah, just had a bit of fun. Shout out to Feud, he's the one who got me started in running events anyway. So thanks for the peer pressure, bro. Appreciate you. Now I'm stuck doing it. Here we are. Everyone keeps asking for me to keep doing more and more. So well, we'll see how we go. And ultimately, like there's a lot of reasons why I do things for the community, and I want to just keep doing that. Even if it's not me in the front lines, I don't mind.
Yeah, awesome.
Absolutely. Awesome. Community is a big thing, isn't it?
100%. Yeah.
For sure. Alrighty, Jake, you got the next question, brother.
Righto. So basically, Alex, why don't you tell us about the motivation behind running the tournament and your core values that you bring to the table?
Cool. I'll probably answer it more like why I'm still running tournaments.
Yeah.
And there's just been a good amount of community demand for the type of tournaments I'm running, which I've just been lucky with, right? I mean, I think other people do amazing events as well. So not detracting from anything they do. I've been lucky enough to find a really good venue. It's quite centralized. I'm able to keep time, and yeah, Padstow's great.
Padstow's unreal. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's super good. And on top of that, luckily, because I am a bit of a fiend in Warhammer, I'm very good with rules and managing that and managing the expectation there. So, look, the reality is, you know, there's also been a lot of other events that I've, you know, kind of helped out with and helped, you know, whether that's on the sidelines or in the back end or anything it is. You know, I've donated my terrain, you know, countless times to people, helped with packs, helped with questions. You know, I do what I can. And then eventually I run some events, and touch wood, so far they've been really successful and really happy. Part of that, I think, is just advertising and getting it out there, you know, quite early. Sometimes I haven't gotten it out there quite early, but we've still been able to get some good results. But yeah, it's my motivation to do it is because it is a great vibe, a great experience when you can run an event, you know, and really hit the nail on the head and make it perfect.
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
And my motivation for continuing to do it is that I can continuously see improvements and where we can go, whether that's something as simple as, you know, terrain standardization, painting, things like that, or whether it's around, you know, construction of the actual packs that people are running, whether it's the active management on the day. I'm continuously getting better at it, I feel. And with that, I feel like the players are also getting better. And lastly, you know, I try to make it very community focused, not just for high-end competitive play, though. Obviously, me getting, you know, quite a large number of players at the events obviously helps, because then you have high-level competitive play, but then you also get something that feels good for everyone else to play with. And I like to try and innovate and tweak things. You know, you guys have seen me with pairings process, placements process, things like that, working things out that work out for the best of the actual event. So I'm continually on the go trying to do it.
Yeah, cool, man.
Yeah, awesome.
You do run good events. We all know that. Everybody loves the ping pong.
Yeah, that's it. You know, you got to make something, you know, unique each time as well. You know, something that people can talk about. That trophy was way too massive, but I thought it was really funny for the time and getting that going. You know, CrewCon is obviously its own spectacle, and that's how I started. There'll be another one again, you know, mid-August this year. So that'll be cool. At this one, I've got a community day coming up, which will be also cool. I've got a super major, which, you know, we'll try that out and see how we go. And yeah, ultimately, it's all just there for the people.
Don't forget the Hunter too, man. Jeez, come on.
Yeah, mate, that's your baby. I'm just there to support. You know what I mean? Like the way I see it, I get to maybe cheekily play the next Hunter.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Done.
Yeah, nice. And I should be at the next Hunter as well.
That's it.
That'd be good, Scotty. Come along.
For sure.
Well, we need you for this.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'll be there doing the stream, doing the commentary, having a great time, as I always do. Love doing this. All right, so let's jump in a little bit of the meat and potatoes now. We're going to briefly run through the tournament, kind of looking at the players pack and you know, how everything has kind of come together. Now, the important thing that I'll actually note is 56 players. Keeping up the no play 40k. Oh, Alex.
Yeah.
I've got a video sitting in the wings. I've been absolutely hating my current Deathwatch build. Absolutely hating it. Been putting my face against the grindstone trying to get it to work.
Nice.
Not enjoying it at all. So it needs to change. Anyway, let's get back to the topic at hand. What I was gonna mention is there's actually not just the Winter GT that's happening, but there's actually 2 RTTs also happening. There's the 3-player teams RTT and a singles RTT. I think it's culminating in 130-ish players playing 40k on the weekend, which is absolutely insane in New South Wales. So
it's not bad. It's we did our best to make sure it worked, right? You know, I made sure I wasn't taking away too many people from the Wollongong region. Ryan was making sure he wasn't taking too many people away from the Sydney region, and you know, we were all just working, you know, commonly together. But luckily, all three of us, you know, kind of got our events out there at a good amount of time, so that's given enough people notice so they can work out what they're doing and manage it. You know, we've had a brand new pack, which has been great. You know, that helps bring some life into it. I always kind of try to cough, spoiler alert, you know, have my events right after a pack comes out, or it's like, or something like that. But it always, you know, kind of makes things magic and loving and beautiful. But yeah, I don't like this. Like, can we have another? Apparently, I was gonna have a tagline for each one. So yeah,
yeah. Some of us.
It's a testament to the community, really, how we can all work together and have this many players at events in one weekend in the New South Wales region, really.
100%. And I will actually mention that you know, there was a bit of a scheduling mix-up from the venue, but so I had someone reach out to me and they're saying, well, they've also booked the same weekend as us, and I thought, I don't want to be that guy that just like takes away, you know, things, especially when they already sold tickets. So we are actually running 2 events in the same venue. Normally I would have this as 80 play capacity. I brought it down to the 60, and you always get a few drops right at the end, right? But for this purpose, that we can also cover them, which is Marvel Crisis Protocol event, and we're going to have another 40 players there. So we've got 100 players playing, you know, war games within the Padstow RSL, which is, you know, magic. We've worked out the scheduling, we've managed everything through there. But yeah, big shout out there as well, because we were able to make something really cool happen.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah,
hopefully you can use it to convert a few.
I think Jude was actually saying he wasn't sure which event he was going to go to now, but
I love it, absolutely love it. All right, let's jump in a little bit, shall we? So where's the key stuff? So you've got your basic schedule, so an 8:30 start on the Saturday, 10 a.m. start on the Sunday. Pretty straightforward for the Padstow RSL in terms of their opening times. We are using the latest mission pack, so the 2025-26 chapter approved. Then you got your pairings process there and your placings. So pairings is always wins, random, and then Swiss for the final round. And then placings is wins followed by battle points. Top 4 at the end of the round 4 goes into a locked pod. And there's some extra details around that as well, just to secure those top 4 players so they don't just go shunted all the way down to 10th, for example.
Yeah, if you've had a solid undefeated run until that point, I think you deserve to be kind of put into a lock placing. There's been something that everyone loves at the events as well, so yeah, it's something that we want to keep going. I will note that we've actually been able to make the Padstow RSL open an hour earlier than normal half an hour earlier than normal on the Saturday. So that gives us a bit of extra time, and it means that you guys can all leave a bit earlier as well, which is very nice.
Yeah, love that. Awesome. All right. In terms of day 1, Regos at 8:30. Pairings go up at 9, but it's also when you do army presentation and battle ready checks during that round. The rounds are 2 hours 45 minutes. Pretty standard, you'd say, for your events,
Definitely.
Alex.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to set up the terrain in comparison to some other ones. GW is very easy to use. There's not as much terrain, and I've picked some very simple layouts as well. So all in all, between talking about your army and setting up the tables, spoiler alert, there's only 2 different layouts anyway to make your lives even easier. There's one layout on day 1, one layout on day 2, so you even get to save more time. So you can really chat the shit for 15 minutes before you even start your clocks, and that will still give you an hour and 15 each, which is plenty of time.
Yeah. Awesome. An hour lunch break.
Absolutely.
Everyone loves seeing it. Good amount of time to sit down and grab a feed and just chill out for a bit. You've got a short 15-minute break between round 2 and 3 on day 1. I always like that too. It's good to just have a little bit of downtime. Gives yourself as a TO a little bit of that capacity to come in and go, all right, is anyone running overtime? You can chase those scores. Is there any issues with pairings and all that kind of stuff? You can get that sorted then. And then looking to, day 1 wraps up just shy of 7, so 6:45. Day 2, we're back there at 10 for a 10:15 start for the round. And then we end the day at around 5:30. So, yeah, all well and good timed for a tournament, which, the ones at Padstow always have been as well, which has been really nice, for at least the ones you've run, Alex. They've always ran well.
It's a big priority for myself to make sure that we get things to time and we're not pushing things out too much. Having 6:45, I think, is much better than some of the other events having like 8 o'clock or anything like that. At that point, you're way too tired. You don't want to eat the menu twice either. So this gives people a bit more time in their day. I'll be experimenting to see. It might cost me a bit more money, but of potentially having the Sunday as well open earlier. And doing different things there as well. Like maybe we can have a catered lunch where they have a whole bunch of different things and we all just have finger foods and eat all there in the venue for half an hour and then get back right into it. We can have an even earlier finish. How good would it be to finish all of day 2 by 3:30, 4 o'clock? That would be wild. So there's a whole bunch of different things I'm looking to do just to make community life better, and we'll keep testing it out and going from there.
Yeah, for sure. All right, now we get into some of the fun stuff, which is the missions and the terrain layouts. So you've already said there's one layout for day 1 and one layout for day 2. So the layout for day 1 is layout 6. And round 1, now with the new mission pack, if you're not aware, they've removed the mission rules and replaced them with twists. And the twists are absolutely wildly unbalanced, so they're not going to see competitive use. So
they're not even recommended by GW for competitive use, so it makes it even easier.
Yeah, so basically now it's just going to be primary and deployment. That's it.
Yeah, super easy.
Yeah, so it's linchpin on tipping point, and to my understanding, linchpin didn't change.
Nope. Standard, still standard. Nice and easy. Yeah.
Now, the one thing that I would say, and this is, we were going through a little bit of back and forth today about it, Alex, is there's been a slight change to layout 6. Do you want to kind of explain what you've done?
Yeah, so I've got this really good terrain, and instead of us having to always pull them apart and fix them because GW on every single layout has different orientations, there's no more than 2 of the same orientation for each mission. Which is actually pretty scary to note. I've just fixed up on here so everyone can see it as well. The orientation, so they're all relevant and matching. So as an example, the middle ruin here is actually better for staging because previously you could be seen through and get shot. The other ruin on the bottom, so let's say you're the green player, on the bottom right is a bit worse for staging. However, the opponent still can't really get to you because of the container formations in the middle. It does block a lot of that line of sight. They have to go actually actively in the middle and get counter-charged, counter-shot, everything else from you in order to get you there. And there's still obviously the availability of just hiding behind the ruin wall, as an example, or the base, I should say. So they're the minor changes. What that allows you to have is amazingly painted standard terrain without having to pull them apart, break them, do anything, mix them up. We found that a lot of people were accidentally breaking things, which fair enough, it happens. No fault to them. It is MDF after all, and it will make for quicker games because, as you can see when you start scrolling through, all of these, this layout, like you said, is all for day 1. You can keep the terrain as is.
Yeah, and I think it'll be a good time to show off the terrain because you've recently gotten it painted as well.
Yeah. It's not complete yet, but you can see some of the images here. We've obviously got like 2 different types. So we've got the purple, blue, which part of this I'll be still going through some more gradients and adding some blue gradients into these. And then we also have the orange desert theme one, which the mats and everything also all match this. The bases all match these as well, which is really nice to see. It should look beautiful. And we're going to have it kind of like alternating as much as we can. We've painted a bit more purple than we have orange so far, but we'll go from there.
Yeah, they definitely have come up great, and I'm really looking forward to when you get it all nicely finished to see them all out being used. Be an absolute spectacle.
Yeah, 100%. And I want to shout out Jordan Palmer for helping me out with this. He is an absolute legend. He's like-minded like me. You know, when I talked to him about it, and you know, I wanted to even pay him money for it and all that, he just said, "Look, you're doing things for the community. I'm doing things for the community too, for their benefit." So yeah, it was it's nice. I love it when community helps community.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely. What a legend.
For sure. All right. And Feud coming in, can't let MCP outshine us. They do have some great terrain, the Marvel guys.
They do. It'll be good fun though. It'll be good to see them there so everyone can check it out. And you know, the organizers are absolutely lovely people. So yeah, they've never seen a streamed event either. So they're going to be really keen at seeing Scotty's setup and everything too. So yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah, nice. I'm
Very
keen.
good.
All right. So yeah, round one, pretty straightforward. It's high scoring. The layout's pretty good. It's a staple round one. It's a feels good mission because you feel like you can score a decent amount of points and then go, cool, even if I lose, I maybe get 70, 80 points. I'm sweet.
Yep.
Then we come to round number 2, which is hidden supplies on Tipping Point. Now, hidden supplies is the new primary mission in the pack. It used to be a mission rule, and now it's a primary. So what this one is it gives you the additional objective in the middle. And the way that the primary works is if you hold 1 in no man's land, you get 5 points. If you hold 2 in no man's land, you get another 5 points. If you hold more than your opponent, you get another 5 points. So it means that basically it is just fighting in no man's land. Now, the question for you, Alex, is which way is the objectives going because of Tipping Point in the corners?
It goes towards the top left if you're green, and bottom right if you're red.
Cool.
So it always goes away from your home objective.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good to know, just so that players are aware of that going into this one. Layout 6 does work quite nicely for this one as well because of the way it pushes the objectives. It pushes them towards those middle ruins, so you can kind of stage and hold them a little bit more securely than you would be normally. Home's quite defensible, so yeah. If you need to score, defend stronghold, or recover assets or something like that, then you've got that capacity.
It's good to hold more as well, so you kind of need to keep something there each time.
Yeah.
Because that hold more is really important. I will say that what I try to do with these deployments is pick ones where it's actually fairly safe to be in your deployment zone and you can't get turn one shot. You'll see this with this layout and also layout 3 afterwards. But there's plenty of spaces for you to stage, hide, protect yourself, so that way you're not going to get into too much trouble.
Yeah, for sure. Alrighty, round 3. It's going to be a staple for round 3, and I like it because it's a nice. I won't say brainless, but it's a easier on the brain mission, which has taken hold on Crucible of Battle. Still on layout 6, but still really easy to, as you were saying, hide in your deployment zone, so you can't really get shot too much round 1, or you can hide quite easily. You've got your, the top left, bottom right objectives are defensible, so you can get into them in the ruins and hold them behind line of sight, which is nice, and then you can fight over the middle as you see fit. So yeah, relatively easy for that one on the end of day 1. I do like that the actual change to the the top right ruin for the green player, in terms of the one that is like half in your deployment, half out, where it's the flip to L compared to what the layout normally is, it actually puts it in quite a nice position that you can hide from there and still and threaten the middle without exposing, right? So it kind of, if you're a combat army, that's quite nice. If you're shooting, maybe not so much, but there's give and take with that, right? So it's a good good positional one, as we were saying earlier. I quite like it. Then we come to day 2. So layout 3 is the layout for day 2. So we've got Scorched Earth on Search and Destroy. From my understanding, Scorched Earth hasn't changed at all either. It's just basically the same. So yeah, I mean, the middle is actually quite defensible in terms of being able to stage behind those center ruins, or you can also threaten it with fire lanes, because there is a top right to a bottom left firing angle that's a lot easier to cut than the top left to bottom right there as well. But you've also got the no man's.
And someone's just on the chat, you cannot hold the middle from the ruin. The ruin walls are thick enough that it blocks that.
Yeah, too easy. Thanks for the question, Sork. Appreciate that. So yeah, you're able to hold the natural expansions in each other table quarter from just on the inside of that ruin, I believe.
Yes, you can.
Yeah. So yeah, it means that those are. You can just hold them with like 1 or 2 models, but the center you can't. So that's good to be aware of. And then come round number 5, we're on Search and Destroy again with Terraform. Now, Terraform's had an interesting change to it, where it's only 1 point when you score it. You complete the action at the end of your turn, but now you can steal the objectives back.
Yes. It's a completely different mission in my mind. So it just rewards people from having some extra units so they can get additional points. And if they feel they cannot do that, then it rewards the armies that can actually, remove the opponent's units very effectively. So you are one of those 2 categories. I played this today as an example, and I found that I was only doing Terraform actions on the final round, and I got my 4 extra points from that, which was nice. But it's a more dynamic mission play that doesn't feel as bad if you don't go first.
Yeah, which is what it felt like last version of it, right? Is that whoever went first went out, did Terraform, and then was just scoring 2, 4, or 6 points because they held it, right?
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, it become a bit of a feels bad, I suppose, going first and quickly getting it, and
yeah. So overall, I'd say it's pretty good. It doesn't have supply drop in there. I'm not 100% certain off the top of my mind. Ritual's still in the pack as well.
Ritual and supply drop are in there. They're just not GW approved at the moment.
Yeah, because GW's lists, they've changed it significantly, haven't they?
Yeah. And obviously, look, I do my own terrain combinations as well, because I think it's better than some of the ones that they have. Some of them are a bit too open, so I try to mitigate that as much as I can. And while you might say, "Oh, it doesn't look like there's much here," once you get onto the table, it's actually really surprising how much you can kind of hold and hide behind without them getting an angle. As an example, if we're looking at this one right here, let's say they're the green player and they deploy all the way up the top there, where the 30 is. They need to move a total of 10 inches to just get a line to try and push you there. But from there, you can actually draw the line and see where they could go. So if it's a vehicle, you can see, though, that you've still got about, 20 or so inches of area space that you can still deploy that they can't actually get to you. And that's the same if they go down from the green south, is the exact same way. So there's a lot of areas that you can actually hide, be protected, and feel safe. That other one where if you say you're the red player and you see looking at the ruin that's just touching your deployment with the blue square and on the top left, you can actually sit right behind that, and there's no way that the opponent can actually get to you based on angling or anything like that. You've got the other U-shaped ruin in the middle, down the bottom, that you can also hide behind, and then that staging ruin right in the middle as well, next to the middle objective, is perfect. There's so much hiding that you can do from that, while also having really good staging, mobility, pressure, everything.
Yeah, definitely agree. And I definitely also agree that some of the combinations GW puts together for their missions with deployment and primaries aren't always the greatest.
Yeah, they can be a bit wild.
Yeah.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Look, at least they somewhat fix supply drop, right?
Yep.
So that's the other thing.
That's maps.
All right, so coming to the game rules as you've got in the pack, but basically FAQs and such. So using GW FAQs, slates, rules that are on the app. Now you also delayed list submission, I believe, to allow Chaos Knights and the Imperial Knights update.
Yeah. Well, so it was always going to be the Imperial Knights update because the rules cutoff was Thursday.
Okay.
And it feels really weird to have Imperial Knights playing one way and Chaos Knights the other. So I definitely pushed it back. Make it so it's better for everyone. We understand it. Look, good news was that everyone knew what the Chaos Knights update was anyway 2 weeks beforehand because it's all been leaked. But I just wanted to make things a bit more final and make sure everyone knew where we were kind of at. And people were playing them already. You know, we're not going to have you revert back to an older version. So luckily I had the flexibility to be able to do that. Yeah, it's worked out well.
Yeah.
Do you think that do you think GW like purposely do that? Like they leak it just to get the hype train like really motoring? I feel like that surely they do. Surely.
You never know. It could be a whole bunch of different things, but yeah.
Yeah. A whole bunch of other factors could be in play on that one. But yeah, it's definitely a question in my mind as well, Jake. So you're not alone. You're not alone. Cool. So outside of that, and obviously as TOs, we all hope that GW decide to send out the Chaos Knights Codex code before the weekend as well, so we can reference it in the app. The other one you've got in there is the WTC charging rules for how you charge into a ruin. Yep. Which is
I find that it's just always a lot better having that. Provides less pressure. People know where they're at. It's worded, it's quite wordy, but it is detailed in a way that once you do go through it and look at the scenario, it's easy to understand. More importantly, as a fluid state, and what I mean by that is like us playing a lot of teams events, but then also playing a lot of singles events where we're quite fluid in that regard. It's better to have as close as possible replication for the rules, so you don't feel like you're playing two different games. There already is a different terrain format. If you're having different rules formats, and I know what it's been like in the past where there's been quite a substantial amount of differences in rules and wording. In fact, there's been some where GW say it goes one way and then WTC says another way. It's better to just like identify certain ones that we think just helps with the standard and flow of the game, and this is one of them.
Yeah, for sure.
Couldn't agree more. Stops a lot of arguments.
Yeah, it does. All right, then we come to prizes. So real quick, we'll cover up on this. So you've got your top three. So first, second, and third. You've got Renaissance Man in there. So best sport, best painted, and placing combination. Which I love Renman. It is such a great prize. I'm glad to see more tournaments picking it up as well. You've got best sport, best painted, and wildest list, which is great. It's always good to see some of the shenanigans going on in lists.
It's always a staple, the wildest list one. It feels really good.
Yep. Then you've got your standard model requirements, and then sportsmanship and conduct. The important one to mention in this one is don't tell the MCP players that DC is better. Like, don't be that guy.
Or just walk up to them and go, "Where's Batman?" Just have them look at you. Like, probably don't do that. It'll be funny, like the first person that says it, but then there's over 60 of us nerds. If we all keep saying it, it's probably going to get old really fast.
Yeah. Or who knows? They could probably turn around and do it to us, where it's like, "Oh, where's the high elf?" to an Eldari player. So, because AOS and 40k. So, the saying, "Don't throw stones if you live in a glass house."
And the reality, spoiler note, but there's no Drakari, so there's no high elves. None of the elves are actually high. No combat drugs here. So So,
yeah, but then we'll just all laugh and say that AOS is nothing in comparison anyway, so it's fine. Oh, sorry to all the AOS listeners out there.
It's all good. We got another question from Stork. What about Tau and the new Cowyon? Will they get ignore mods for the whole game, or only from round 3 onwards? Now, the good news is, Stork, I don't believe there's any Cowyon players this weekend, so that's not going to be something that is going to need a ruling at this point.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we just banned them, so we didn't want to make a ruling. We just said, screw it, we're not going to let them.
So, yeah.
Easier.
Yeah, but I think GW is not too far off making a ruling on that one themselves. I think it got ruled at either the Canadian Warhammer event or at maybe the Green Banner tournament that happened over the weekend as well. There was one of them that a calling got made for that specific situation. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see an FAQ around that in the next couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not like GW to put something out that's not clear, right? So I'm sure they'll get straight on top of it.
Yep. Then the important note, it is a licensed venue, so guys, if you're going to consume alcohol, do it wisely and respectfully and don't go overboard, because, you know, they've got legislation they have to follow and rules, so make sure we're doing the right thing by the venue. You got chess clock rules in there. We won't spend too much time going through those. And basically, have fun. It's going to be a great weekend. And yeah, so that's basically the pack. That's basically the format. So I'm going to pass it over to Jake as we jump into talking about the meta.
Yeah, awesome. The juicy bits. The bits everybody has been waiting for. Also, me talking, which is a favourite pastime of mine.
Yeah.
So the meta breakdown, and Alex's, obviously.
I like listening.
What are we? Yeah, on the chair in the corner. Yeah. So to kick it off, the best boys of the Imperium. We got Space Marines. 6 players making up 10.7%. 4 Blood Angels, 1 Dark Angels, and 1 Lonely Sally's player. Who's the Sally's player, Alex? You know off the top of your head?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
Great guy.
He went to, actually, Scotty and I went out or had a few drinks with him after day 1 of the ATWN Open. So
Cool. Very nice.
Yep.
For Imperium, we've got 17 players making up the largest portion, 30.4%. We have surprisingly six Imperial Knights, 3 Custodes, 3 Astra Militarum, 2 Sisters, 2 Admech, and 1 Grey Knight player on his own. And sorry, that was I misread that. That's the second largest. The largest group is Chaos. 19 players, 33.9% of the meta. We have 4 Death Guard, 3 Chaos Demons, 3 Chaos Knights, 3 CSM, 3 T-Sons, 2 Emperor's Children, and 1 World Eaters player.
Yep, not too surprised. I am a little surprised to only see 1 World Eaters.
Yeah, so am I.
Off the back of their new codex. Emperor's Children is probably a little bit of hobby lag. And T-Sons, not too surprising. There's a couple of what you say, back pocket T-Sons players in the meta who kind of jump around to some other armies as well. So
is that a nice way of saying meta chasers, or
it's a nice way of saying players who play multiple armies and will pick the most powerful one at the time, or one that they think is the most powerful one at the time.
Yeah, copy. I'm guessing that's why there's 4 Death Guard players, right?
Yeah. Oh, and he's not in chat either. Mr. Dan.
Anyway, moving on, we do have 3 Eldari players making up 5.4%, which is just 3 mono Eldari.
Mm-hmm.
We've got 2 Hivemind players, 3.6%, so 2 Tyranids, which is a little bit surprising. I thought there would be quite a few more Tyranid players popping up, quite literally.
Yeah, with the subterranean.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in that level, you'd think there'd be more Dark Angels as well, right? Because they also got one. I think it's just one of those things where the subterranean, I've been playing the crap out of it. It is so hard to play, and while I have been relatively successful, I know that I can't finish games in half an hour like Scotty sent me to. With that one, it's very tough. But in saying that, it you need to. I think a lot of people are playing it too aggressive. You need to play it more defensive. But what were you going to say, Jake? Sorry.
Yeah. No, all good. It's couldn't have been too important because it's gone.
You remember the things? Yeah. Probably around finishing games quick.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, watching a similar game, but that might have been AdMech actually. But I think you and your player finished it in like 30 minutes each. Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah, it's good fun.
40k in 40 minutes. And then over to the last bit of the meta, which is Xenos. 9 players making up 16.1% of the meta. 2 Orc players, 3 Necrons, 2 Leagues of Votann, one of which we'll talk about later, I'm sure, and 2 Tau.
That's it.
So that makes up the meta there. Now, if we move over onto the faction podium, if I can just get my phone to work here. We have Imperial Knights making up the 10.7% in first. And then second, we have Blood Angels and Death Guard, 4 players, making up 14.3% of players. We then have a tied mixed bag for third. We have Custodes, Imperial Guard, Chaos Demons, Chaos Knights, CSM, T-Suns, Eldarian Orcs, all 3 players each, making up 42%, nearly half of the meta breakdown. And so the faction podium makes up 34 players and 60.7% of the meta.
All right, I have to literally check my notes here because I've got some conflicting data on screen for you guys, and I'll make sure it's correct. Okay.
Ooh.
So it actually should be Necrons in that count. It shouldn't be Orcs. I misread that.
I was gonna. Yeah, okay, that's cool. Because I noticed when we did the Xenos, Orcs and Necrons were the wrong way around if we we're going corresponding numbers. But
yeah,
it's all good, Scotty. You do a great job.
I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect, chat. I do the best I can.
Mate, we love you.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so that's the meta breakdown, the podium.
It's pretty diverse. It is quite diverse. Space Marines not showing up a lot is a little surprising in some regards. I mean, 6 players out of 56, it's still about just over 10%. But at the same time, when you compare that to how prevalent they were before the slate, so you had Ultramarines being quite popular, but obviously Gilliman and Caligar combo got nerfed in the most recent balanced data slate, and some points changes there resulted in, obviously maybe Ultramarines players aren't playing that combo, or they're still figuring out how that list will work. Maybe you just run Gilliman and you don't run Caligar, or vice versa, and they're just trying to work it. You know, there's obviously.
I think to be honest, there's just that much good stuff out there at the moment. Everybody's just sort of having a bit of play around and see what else is out there at the moment. I mean, not only is there that many armies now, how many different detachments have we got for each army? It's just you could play one army that's completely different just by changing one detachment. You know.
Yeah.
Yep. CSM have double-digit detachments now, so yeah.
Yeah.
10 detachments. What the heck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey. That is insane.
Got a Grotmas one and then got another one. So
yeah. I'm not too surprised to see Imperial Knights, particularly off the back of some significant points drops with their toughness changes and wounds changes with their update. So I'm not too surprised seeing them having an increase. Seeing AdMech outside of Alex being an AdMech player is actually really great. I'm keen to see how both of those AdMech players go. Seeing Sisters back in the fight is good as well. And someone coming in with Grey Knights is, you know, Godspeed to that player who's playing Grey Knights, because they're not in the greatest spot at the moment, but you know they are getting an update soon, so hopefully that update will treat them nicely. Chaos is pretty well spread. Having 4 of their 7 factions on 3 players apiece is nice. Death Guard having 4s, you know, not too unsurprising, and we've already addressed the other 2. Then all the Xenos, I mean, it's not unsurprising not see GSC and singles. It's a bit more of an, you know, in an environment where it's 2 hours 45-minute rounds, I can understand the rationalization for not playing them, because it's a lot of models, it's a lot of movements, a lot of activations, and so that can eat through your clock. So maybe you're not wanting to burn through that amount of brain power every single game. Not seeing Drakari is an interesting one, but they are also probably suffering a little bit of just probably the way to just...
They can't kill Knights, they can't kill Death Guard, they can't kill Towns. So it's just one of those things. This is probably a bad metaphor, for them, but let's just wait until we see the codex, because I'm sure they're going to get a lot of cool things.
Yeah. I actually have my hunch as to when we're going to see their codex and why, but I will not mention that just yet. I think it's too far away.
Yeah, well, I mean, we got Sally's Fists, and I believe Votan is the next one's order drop, so has to be after them.
Yep. Also, Templars are in there as well.
Yes, yeah.
But it's good to see Tau back. I'm glad to see Tau seeing some play as well. And it's I mean, they were virtually gone from the meta for about 6 months. Like they weren't seeing a lot of play. Like even in teams, they weren't really present. So I'm kind of glad to see some Tau players coming back. When we get into detachments, we'll have a look at what they're playing, of course, in that realm. But yeah, so I think overall it's really nice meta. It's really diverse, and I think everyone's gonna have a great weekend playing in this soup of a meta. For I think it's the first GT using the pack here in New South Wales, Alex.
That's right.
Yeah, nice. So it'd be good experience for everyone. Alrighty, Jake. So why don't we jump into the first lot of detachments?
Yeah, yep. So the first lot of detachments we'll look at will be the Space Marines and Imperium. For Blood Angels, we got 3 Liberator Assault Group and 1 Angelic Inheritors. It's obviously... we see a lot in the Liberator. You don't normally see many in that Angelic Inheritors, but I couldn't even tell you what it does.
It's the jump pack up the Yanni one.
Right. Yeah.
And what's actually really interesting, Blood Angels the detachment split the exact same for the Autumn GT, Alex. It was the exact same.
Might be the exact same.
Right.
Got one Wrath of the Rock, the Dark Angels.
Yeah, I think it's very strong, very good detachment. I think should be taking 60 heavy intercessors, but we'll talk about that another day.
Of course, for one, which is just a staple for Sally's, is a really good one there. Surprise, surprise. There's only 2 detachments for Imperial Knights, and you're picking the one good one. So all are playing noble lengths. Adeptus Custodes.
Custodes.
Yeah. You go for it, mate.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. Two combined and 1 hammer in Astra. 3 champions of the faith with the sisters. 1 Halo Screw with Abmech, and 1 Warpbane task force with the Grey Knights.
So there should be another Abmech somewhere.
Yes, it's Skitarii. I've just
again
goobed it. So yeah,
that's all right. Good spread there. If we move on to Chaos detachments, we've got 4 Death Guard, the 2 Mortarion Hammer and 2 Virulent Victorian.
Yeah, they're the best.
We got
makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Both really strong, both very tough. 3 Chaos Demons with the Demonic Incursion, which is that the index, right?
Yep.
That's probably the strongest one for them, right?
That Legion feels really good, but people obviously moving to this one at the moment.
Yeah. CK with the Chaos Knights with 2 Lords of Dread and 1 Houndpack Lance.
Yeah. Yeah, these detachments are a bit wild. I'm not 100% certain if we're looking at one of them in the list. I'll just double check. No, we're not looking at any knights. So, Lords of Dread is wild. When I first read that detachment, I went, oh my goodness. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yep. It'll be really good. You'll be able to see some. We'll probably get some on stream as well to showcase at the actual event. So yeah.
Houndpack Lance as well is the only detachment now that you can run all War Dogs, because it is the only detachment where you can get War Dog characters. They actually took the character keyword away from the Stalker.
Yep. Over to CSM, we've got 2 Renegade Raiders and 1 Soulforged, which is quite an interesting list. I'm sure we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
We've got 1,000 Suns with 3 on the Green Coven, for good reason. Very strong. 2 Emperor's Children with the Coterie of the Conceited, and 1 Berserker Warband World Eaters.
Yeah, not too surprising out of those 3. From the top of my memory, Grand Coven's is basically indexed attachment for them.
It is.
So yeah, not too surprised there. Coterie is the best for EC, and Berserker's still really solid for World Eaters, so not surprised.
You need extra strength, so Berserker's needed,
Over to Eldari, Hardmine, and Xenos. So Eldari, we got 3 separate detachments: Aspect Host, Sea Council, and War Host. It's really not surprising because I feel like Eldar are just in a really weird spot at the moment. I think GW, just when they nerf something, they really forget how to balance other things, and poor old Eldar have just been nerfed and nerfed again. So it's every good Eldar player trying to find exactly where what goes and what fits best.
I reckon Sea Council has got the highest skill expression out of the 3, and super keen to see it. If I was playing Eldar, I would definitely be playing Sea Council. It's very cool.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. I know the Aspect Host is quite popular too, but
Aspect and War both popular.
Tyranids, we've got 1 in Invasion Fleet, which is still quite strong, but then another in the subterranean assault, which is probably the best. But like you said, it's the it's a head fuck.
It is.
Yeah.
A great word for it.
Yeah, burrow for days.
It's a bit of a zest. It might win spiciest list because the person running the subterranean assault is running a Harridan. It may not have been painted at my house.
I've never heard anybody.
Can you imagine like Ravenous creating a tunnel? Ravenous creates a tunnel, paint this picture, and out of that tunnel, a Harridan comes out.
Yeah.
Peak cinema. Hopefully the CW animators can get to work and make something like that. Shown.
A little shout out to Jack, guy from our group. He was talking about bringing the Biotitan out of. Yeah.
Yuck.
He might hate me for giving up his idea, but I think it's hilarious, to be honest. And then over to Necrons, we got one Awakened Dynasty, one Canoptic Court, one Star Shudder. Leagues of Votann, two Earthbound. Orcs, we got one Red Mob, one Green Tide, and Tau, we got two Monka.
Yeah. Pretty reliable spread across the Xenos side of things. In terms of Eldari, Aspect Host and War Host have kind of been pretty stable in their takes. They haven't been the primary take for them, but they've seen some numbers. But I do agree with Alex that Sea Accounts is probably the next best one after the Devoted of Your Need got a kneecapping. Glaves, no worries, brother. Thanks for joining us for chat, and hope you're doing well. Necrons, it's good to see Canoptic Court coming back a little bit. Star Shatter's still seeing a little bit of play, and Awaken's just been a staple. Orcs, seeing Green Tide's quite interesting after not seeing them around from having Tactical Brigade, and then we had more Dakar, and having both of those see some changes and some tonings down and points changes in Orcs as well. To see Green Tide come back into the mix is really interesting. I also think because of the meta change as well, when you look at Knights and both varieties getting some increases in terms of player count, Green Tide I think has a little bit more play into that as well.
Yeah, definitely. If you can get up there and gum up the board and sort of block everything off, it makes it very hard, especially for Knights players and stuff. But
yeah, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Same with Dreadnought.
Yeah.
They can do it with all aggression. So it's going to be happening on both ends. Yeah.
I think at Coffs Harbour last weekend, the bloke that comes second, he was running like 120 boys, and it was just shocking, eh?
Might as well.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. So
cool. And I think that's the end. That's all of our meta breakdown.
Yeah.
Let's go into some lists.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm gonna
keen for this bit.
I had to pick the first one because I was like, as soon as I saw him, I'm like, this guy's a great player. So we're looking at Andrew Martin from the ACT. He just got voted in as ACT's new ANZTC rep. Absolutely wonderful gentleman. Is the TO of Capital Clash as well, which is running next month. So if you haven't got your tickets for that event, feel free to do so down in Canberra. If you feel like freezing your ass off this time of year, no, Andrew's absolutely lovely. Such a great guy. He's running the Canoptic Court Necrons. So we've got he's got a Void Dragon, Illuminor Cesaris is the Warlord, Resorb, Void Scythe Overlord, 2 Plasmancers with one with a Hyperphasic Fulcrum, and then a Technomancer with a Dimensional Sanctum as well. You've got 10 Immortals with Tesla and 20 Warriors with the Reapers, which is the short range, 2 shots, strength 4 -1/1 damage on those guys. So obviously the Plasmancers are going to go into each of those units to give crits on 5s. Because who doesn't love sustain 2 on crits 5s, or lethals on crits 5s as well. Really
Filthy.
gassed.
Filthy.
He's got triple Doomstalkers. He's got a single Reanimator, a single unit of 6 Wraiths, 5 Death Marks, 5 Flayed Ones, and a single Locust Destroyer. So it's not your typical Canoptic list where it just goes, oops, all Wraiths and Scarabs.
Doomstalkers.
And Doomstalkers, yeah.
Doomstalkers too. Yeah, they always get used a bit. But yeah, feels good. It goes wide. So ultimately, he's got the Doomstalkers anyway, still in the list. He hasn't got as many Wraiths, but he's got some other utility pieces, such as a Void Dragon, and other things to play around with. So yeah, he's got his brick to push in. He's got his other brick. He's got his Warrior brick as well to push in. He's got his Move Shoot Move. Yeah, feels good.
Yeah, definitely really solid list. So I'm just looking at what the enhancements are. Sorry. So the Cryptek has got the Infiltrators. So the Technomancer is probably going to go in the Wraiths, and they're just going to infiltrate.
It is, yeah.
And then the Hyperphase, when they're within their control matrix, reroll 1s to wound.
Yep.
Which can be quite handy when you need it.
You put it on, say, Necron Warriors, and all of a sudden your lethal hits with reroll 1s to wound feels really good.
Mm-hmm.
With the Immortals, who get benefits as well when they're on objectives. When shooting something on objective, yeah, it just works.
Yep. So yeah, really solid list. Illuminor Caesaris is really a interesting take as well, particularly for that 20-man brick. Increases OC and reduces incoming. Not reduce. Oh, am I thinking of Orokin?
He doesn't improve OC. That's the Catacomb Command Barge. He does reduce the that there, but he also gives extra AP.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So many little pieces from games of Necrons that I've seen recently where it's all just a little bit mushy on those individual pieces. But yeah, thanks for clarifying that, Alex. Good to be able to get that clear. But yeah, seeing the Void Dragon is really interesting. But it is a good tech piece, with Knights being a little bit more popular.
It's funny that he costs almost as much as a Knight now, though. So yeah.
Yeah. He's hefty at 300.
Very interesting.
All right. So next up, our next list is Brody Middleton, who is running Death Guard Virulent Vectorium.
And just so you know, that list name is what we've named him in the group chat now. So yeah, I'm glad to see that he used the name in the group chat and put it down here. Good sport.
Yeah. Brody's wonderful gentleman. Brody is an absolute gentleman. So I actually have not had a proper read of this one. So basically it is
from start to finish, basically.
So by looks, it is sticky objectives for Death Guard units, which is wild, as a detachment rule. So in terms of what he's running, he's got Biologist Putrefier. He's got Demon Prince of Nurgle as his warlord with the Revolting Regeneration.
Yeah, it's a 5-up on a pain, and it's a T12, 215 points.
Yeah.
With a 2-up save, I think, as well.
Yeah.
And a 4-up as well. So, and the detachment itself, just so you know, sorry, and I'll let you continue in a sec.
Go for it.
Has 2 amazing strats. The first strat is -1 damage, which is great. Second strat is you, in the start of your command phase, you pick an enemy unit, and you pick one of your own friendly units, and you roll a dice for each amount of wounds that you've lost on the unit, and for every 5+, they take a mortal wound, and you heal a wound.
Yeah, and it's any unit either, which I found out. I thought it was only like specific to Death Shroud or like a vehicle or something like that, but it's locked to any unit, so it's filthy. If you're not using that 3 or 4 times during the game, like
amazing on the Demon Prince of Nurgle, amazing on Mortarion. Not that this list has Mortarion. If it's a perfect tiered mini Tarion, everyone calls this Baby Morty. So it's
Morty,
very good.
Yep, for sure. So the rest of his list, he's got Foul Blight Spawn and a Lord of Contagion. unit of 10 Plague Marines, Rhino, Predator Destructor in there with the las cannons, then 2 units of 3 Death Shroud, 2 regular bloat drones with the Plague Spitters, 3 heavy Blight Launcher Plague drones, 3 single Mythic Blight Haulers, and 2 units of 10 Pox Walkers.
Yeah. Still quite a bit of units, and you think that Death Guard's slow, but when you look at these vehicles, they can all move 8 to 10 inches, and that obviously fixes the speed issues that they have. Not to mention Pox Walkers have Scout and Infiltrate, I believe they have both.
Infiltrate, yeah, and they got fair distances on most of the weapons and stuff there, and also the probably the most relevant thing for all their weapons is with the Knights going down to T9 and T11 respectively, makes these things so much more dangerous.
Yeah, because it puts them down to T8 and T10 respectively as well. Then,
exactly.
They also mentioned reach. Death Shroud can come in within 6 or outside of 6 and charge. So, they have. This has plenty of reach for a Death Guard list.
Yeah, and particularly with the heavy Blight launchers as well being strength 10. They're gonna get some work done into the night matchups for sure.
Yeah.
So it'd be good to see Brody playing this. Typically he's played guard up until this point. He's played Marines.
And now he decided
and he's hopefully gonna have a run at Wolves after this weekend. But we'll see.
Yeah.
No, I reckon after our game that I played with him, he's off Wolves.
Man.
Yeah.
He's going to play one more than that.
Alrighty. So the next list we're going to be looking at is Jim Calverley's. He's running Blood Angels. So I figured let's pull out a Space Marine. Let's have a look at a Blood Angels list. Jim's playing his Blood Angels Liberator Assault Group. He's got a captain with Jump Pack with the Gift of Foresight. He's got another captain with Jump Pack, and then Chaplain with Speed of the Primarch, and then Dante as his Warlord. He has got 3 units of 5 Jump Pack Intercessors with 1 Plasma Pistol and Power Fist, and the rest are all just Bolt Pistol Chainsword boys. He's got a brick of 6 Blade Guard, 2 5-man Infiltrator squads with the Helix Gauntlet Comms Arrays. He's then got a unit of 6 and 2 units of 3 Sanguinary Guard. Each of them have got the max amount of Inferno Pistols and the banners. Unit of Scouts. Then a unit of 5 Vanguard Veterans with Storm Shields. Vanguard Vets went down to 95 points from 115. These guys are... I might say...
Especially in Blood Angels, like that early game skirmish on getting the extra strength and everything on them Vanguard Vets at 95 points is just crazy.
Yeah, that they are criminally cheap.
Yeah,
I think Alex, you said price to move.
Yeah, I will know his scout squads actually do have combat knives. He sent it to me, and I've been too lazy to update the list yet. Before the live, so
which is it's ridiculous how hard them scouts can actually hit in combat with those knives. Like,
mate,
I severely
you should see new servitors now for 60 points in AdMech, but they punch just as well as an assault intercessor unit.
That's insane. Then to finish off his 2 Vindies.
2 big
why
Vindies.
Not? Because why not?
They're still unbelievable. The amount of punch they can put out. And the 2-up save.
Definitely.
Yep.
No, it's a really good list. I think it's a good, somewhat balanced list as well. He's got Vindies that he can pop transports because transports are his biggest weakness, and he's got the ability to push everything else and punish it all. So, I'll be keen to see how he does. He's got his son as well. Will be playing at the event too. Rue. He's playing some Nids, Invasion Nids player. So keen to see how they both operate.
Yep. I think he's also got decent play into knights as well. You got the assault intercessors that do the mortals on the charge. You've got a bunch of inferno pistols in with the grenade. Like, just it's got a lot of anti-knight tech, which surprisingly Blood Angels do quite well, which is good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you've only got to look at the name of his list, right? Thank God Blood Angels don't have a hard counter to them in the meta.
Yeah.
All
right, so next up, we are looking at Jordan Palmer Young's list. He's running Chaos Space Marines Soulforged Warpack.
Yeah, I looked at this afternoon. I actually dropped it into the vets chat for a look. I said, have a look at this crap, hey, it's unreal.
Zesty. It's very zesty.
100% agree, it's zesty. So he's got a Baden as the Warlord. A Lord Discordant on Hellstalker. This thing got a glow up in the recent balanced data slate in terms of its damage and movement and just it just got buffs.
And the main buff that he obviously gives, which has stayed, is the +2 strength to weapons. It's not just ranged; it's also melee, which is pretty funny to vehicles around it, which makes things like venom crawlers and other things like that, very, very potent.
Yeah.
Oh wait, so that's Bashful that does that. Sorry, Lord Disco though is just a beast in himself.
But he's a beat stick himself. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the few 3 damage available units in CSM Codex, which is good.
Yeah. Let me see what this cheeky boy does real quick in terms of his abilities, just so we know.
He's also got a bit of shooting as well with the autocannon.
Yeah.
I can tell you the abilities now if you want.
I've got it up as well.
He has a mini tank shock, but you don't have to be in combat. It's in the shooting phase within 12.
Yeah.
You also have reroll 1s to wound. You just pick a visible unit. It doesn't even have to be within range. Or anything like that. It gives the rest of the army reroll 1s to wound, which is fantastic.
Oh right, it's an like he gives it out. That's
he just picks an enemy and then just like how Vulcan gives 4 rerolls to wound for flamers and melters. This is reroll 1s to wound without any range limitation. Then he's obviously got his really nice melter cutter, which is good to have. He has his Bow Flamer, and he also has really good melee because he has 10 attacks. AP 3 damage for some of it. AP 2 anti-vehicle 2+2 damage, and then other extra attacks on top of that.
Yeah.
And move 14, by the way.
Yeah.
So I would expect to see some people starting to run this also in Raiders. The main reason I think you start running it is this guy's mounted. He's not a vehicle. Which in Renegade Raiders, that means you can fall back and use his full movement at the end of the fight phase. So you can get You move 14, you charge, you can advance and charge, then you can do that strat, and it's OC4, so you can flip objectives very easily. I can't wait to see that shit. I really want to see triple of these guys just running.
I was just about to say, why are people not running 3 of these?
I think it's
when triple was meta.
I think it's in the playtest period right now, So let's see what happens.
Yeah. So the rest of his list, he's got a Sorcerer and Terminator armor. He does have Vashtor. And then a Warp Smith in there with the Tempting Addendum enhancement. Then 3 units of 10 Cultists, a Predator Destructor, 5 Chosen, double Forge Fiends with triple Plasma, triple Venom Crawlers, and then a unit of 6 Nurglings.
It's super chill. Not really. It's super potent. Those Venom Crawlers with the +2 strength, it matters for their melee and their shooting. That makes them into a really, really, really good spot. Strength 8, 2 damage flat is great for 12 shots, and then they continue to get more and more.
And then
scary at strength 12 now instead of strength 10. So they're fantastic. All in all, it's a very punchy list. We'll just see how it goes.
Yeah, well, that and paired with the reroll 1s a wound from that Lord Discordant, it's just going to be crazy. And I believe the Sorcerer and the Termi armor is handing out
extra
plus
AP.
1 extra AP and stuff. Yeah.
It's a super cool list. I really like it. I want to see it do well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this is a list that I look at and go, yeah, this is tech. This is off meta. This is an off meta list that has got tech in it to deal with the meta, which I like seeing. I like seeing lists like this, and this is why I picked it out, because it's something you don't normally see, but at the same time, it's got play into the meta, right?
Well, it's kind of like. Sorry, you go, Alex.
I was going to say, not to mention that the detachment means that he can get +1 a wound on Chaos Demon vehicles by doing the Dark Pack. So on top of that, like let's say you have the Strength 12 Forge Beams going into a big night. Well, now they're winning on 2s, rerolling 1s because of the Disco Lord. So
yeah.
That's just wild.
Yeah.
But I also think it's a thing of everybody's like seeing all the brand new shiny things and jumping on them, and CSM sort of got like a little bit forgotten about, but there's still so many great options there.
Yeah, 100%. It's
like
such a wide mix.
Discos and Vashdor are actually getting kind of good now as like a massive boost.
Yeah, I agree.
For a vehicle heavy list,
Yeah, for sure. Alrighty, last but not least, we're going to look at Zach Futura's list. He is running Leagues of Votann Oathbound, and it's because he lost a bet.
Look, I think I was most excited to go through this list, not because it's Votann doing Votann things, but because it's Zach that's actually playing it.
Yeah.
I mean, Zach should have known better, right? You never challenge Taylor to a Zootopia trivia game. So it's his own fault.
Yeah.
Hey. All right, so let's walk through this. So he's got 9 here champion. He's only
so it's in Oathbound, right? Which is the pick two, I think, in the 2,000 point game. Pick 2 for your double 2 or 3.
It's pick additional 2. So they changed it in the previous starter slate, not the most recent one. So they split it from, instead of being 4 to being 2 is your army rule, and then 2 is the detachment.
Yeah, which is just it's crazy good.
Yeah. So he's got 9 here champion, and he as his only character, so it's got to be the Warlord. He's got 2 units of 10 Hearthkin Warriors, unit of 10 and 2 units of 5 Scythonian Berserks. He's got a unit of 10 Hearthkin Jaegers. This is the infiltrate guys. And most of them have got the plasma knives. Yeah.
Funny, you can make him AP4 in this.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. I will note that the Berserks all have the concussion mauls as well. They're not the plasma axes. You've got then 2 units of 6 and 1 unit of 3 Hernkin Pioneers. So that's your scouting bikes. He's then got 2 land fortresses in there. He's got the heavy conversion beamer and the auto cannons on them with the bolt cannons as well as the scanners. And then 3 Sagitors in there with the las beam cannons.
Yeah.
So
Sagi's crazy good.
Yeah.
Sagis feel good. There's a lot of scout in this list. There's a lot of mobility. The bikes can up be downy. And it has a good bit of durability, but also a good bit of punch in there. So feels good. We've been playing some sort of version of this similarly within all our teams events. So let's see how it goes at the GW standard. And
and it feels good without all the characters sort of. He sort of dropped all that to put the points into the actual units and stuff like that. Which it looks great. I'd love to see how it plays.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and
It's very different to my list, which is cool. I think your list, correct me wrong, is it like 18 grab guns? Grab guys? I'll try and pair you into knights the whole weekend, don't worry. No monsters. Yeah.
I definitely agree with Jake. It's a very different take on Votann. Votann just play honest 40k. That is one of the things that I do like about them, is that they are as you see them. They can do some things, but there's no trickery behind it. It's like +1 to wound, +1 to hit. They do uppy downy, infiltrate, scout, like all the standard stuff you get to see. But at the same time, they've got their buffs as they are. So it's really solid. I quite like this list. I reckon Zach's a phenomenal player as well, so definitely not understating him on this list. I think he'll do a phenomenal job playing this one, and we'll probably see him do quite well. So, gentlemen, before we wrap up talking about the list and stuff, what's your faction pick? Who's going to take it out? And I'll start off with Jake.
I don't know, man. New missions and stuff. I haven't got quite a good read on it. I know it can be quite close from some of the games that I've seen. It's a lot more forgiving now, especially with being behind, being able to pick up maybe 3 to 6 extra points and that sort of thing. I don't know. I'm gonna put it out there. My mate Zach with Votan. I really think he's going to be up there.
All right. All right.
I think he's going to take this bet as a personal challenge to make sure that he makes everybody that he plays pay for it.
Yep. Fair. Alex, what faction are you going for?
Jordan, specifically on Imperial Knights. We have a habit of rotating. I've won the last 2 GTs. It's his time again to shine. So let's go.
I knew someone was going to pick Imperial Knights. I knew it was going to come up.
I didn't pick Imperial Knights. I picked Jordan. I think T-Suns, though, there's a lot of great players on that. Namely, you got Greg, you got Arian, and you have Taylor. They're the 3 that are playing it. That's going to be pretty scary as well. There's a lot of cool ones out there. In general, I'm keen to see some of the AdMech. I'm keen to see even, Jordan's SDSM.
Oh man, I hope that gets on the stream. I'm excited to see that list.
Yeah,
play.
There's so much cool things. So I'm really excited about this meta. Let's see what happens. Nobody likes watching GSC or Jukari play anyway. So
Yeah.
It's funny. Like I know, it's like a joke, but I'm not wrong, right? Nobody finds it enjoyable to watch. So
the issue with GSC is you don't know what half the stuff does half the time, or what half the units are, because they all look so similar.
Yep, that's it, man.
All right, I think my pick, I'm gonna go something a little left field for this one.
Cool. Yeah.
I'm gonna go Orcs. I'm gonna go Timmy with Green Tide.
Okay.
I reckon
Timmy's biggest opponent will be the clock here. So I know he's been practicing East with the clock. So keen to see him smash it out and hit it out the park.
Yeah. Has he got movement trays?
No. Not that I know of. I don't know. Maybe it's changed. We all adapt. We all grow. You never know. Let's see.
Yeah, I just think the fact that whilst Knights might have the bodies and they might have great OC and everything, I just don't think that they would put enough firepower out to just deal with so many bodies, right? And so if Tim goes first...
Yeah, but I guess you just put them on the clock and you watch them sweat, right? Because if they run out of time, they can make saving throws, but I think it specifies that you can't make feel no pains. In bold letters, I've been told.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
If you clock.
I don't want to have to read, Jake. Come on.
Yeah.
The important thing that I'm thinking of is that if he goes first, the potential for a turn 1 War, get into your opponent's grills and just gum up the midfield, just throw all your OC onto the objectives, and then the clock doesn't matter, right? Because you've already got so many bodies on every objective that if your opponent decides to clear 1, they've still got 2 others that they need to try and clear and control. I don't think they've got enough firepower if you throw 20 to 40 bodies per, that they can deal with that. It's just too much.
Advocate, you definitely don't live turn 1 because you're not going to be able to probably advance and charge into them. But you do it maybe turn 2.
True.
You just advance and go from there. yeah, they don't have enough firepower though, 100%.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why I'm picking Orcs. I mean, it's yet to be seen. You know, cards and mission and deployment all dependent on that as well. So yeah. Yeah.
That's probably about it, right? I guess, Alex, is there any shout outs you want to make?
Shout out to the community. You guys are killing it. Thank you so much for supporting my event. I like to think of it not as my event, but our events for everyone that attends and everything else. They're really there for everyone. Scotty and Jake will know that I've been. I won't just invest my time into my events, but I'll invest my time into others' events as well. So it's great to see this. Stay tuned for more updates in the future. Please go join the NSWTC's page, join the New South Wales Tournament Community page, check out all our events as well on the calendar, and come to us whenever you have feedback, because we do love to hear it, and we do want to keep growing and making this special for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Good shout.
Yeah, for sure. Feud, thank you for the redemption, hence why my lights are green, because he asked for a lot color change, and he typically plays Death Guard, so I'm like, I'll throw it green.
Nice.
But ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everyone in chat for joining us for this tournament preview. If you haven't, if you joined halfway through, or maybe you haven't caught all of it, we are going to be throwing this up on our YouTube channel on Thursday morning, 9 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, so you guys will be able to catch that on our YouTube channel, as well as the tournament coverage is going to be over on our YouTube channel as well for both days of the tournament, which is going to be absolutely phenomenal. Really looking forward to it. I want to thank both of you guys, Jake and Alex, for taking time out of your week to sit down, have a chat about the tournament this weekend. I really appreciate it.
No worries. Pleasure.
No worries, mate.
And
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, it is. It is always great chat with you guys. But ladies and gentlemen, I've been ScottyD here at the ATWN with Alex and Jake for the Sydney Winter GT tournament preview. Hope you enjoyed the video or the stream. We hope to catch you on the weekend for the live coverage, and we hope you have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. And we hope to catch you on the weekend, team. See you then.
Oh, I'm going to shit on.